Well, it's been a while. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Planet Coaster, where, judging by the title, we're building one last B&M Invert. Now, it shouldn't come as much of a surprise that I really haven't been uploading for a while. It's been 5 months, and it's honestly boiled down to nothing more than I just haven't wanted to play the game. I haven't felt the motivation to do it, and coupled with starting university and working, I haven't had time or motivation to actually get into the game and build anything properly. So I wanted to basically say that this is probably the last Planet Coaster series project or thing I'm going to be uploading going forward, because at the moment the game doesn't really do it for me anymore, and I thought it'd be mean for me to just not make anything else or not make an announcement or leave you guys kind of in the dark. And I apologise that I did do that, with not having uploaded in 5 months, but I thought, what better way to give this game a send-off than to build one of our infamous B&M Inverts. Now, it shouldn't come as much of a surprise that this is what I chose to do, because, I'm a creature of habit. I tend to, build the same thing 17 times and expect different results. That's kind of a lie. So I decided, you know what? No, let's get in. Let's build something a bit more unique in the invert scene and go for a terrain invert. Well, I say terrain invert, but more the setting is based on the terrain, where you can see that I have decided to go for a nice, interesting pre-lift section on this cliff face, like a headland sort of thing, where I wanted to really push landscaping to its limits and basically build something that looks sort of like those NL2 creations that you see, where they're on the really nice plinths and they've got the really beautiful rock work against the lake. And I wanted to do that as our final coaster in Planet Coaster, really. And I apologise to say it, but it just doesn't do it for me anymore, If we ever do get a sequel to this game, obviously I will be right back on there, but at the moment I'm not sure that's very likely. So I was also going to just sort of talk about some things about the channel and throw a couple of questions about what you guys might want to see in the future, because if I'm moving away from Planet Coaster, it doesn't mean I want to stop making videos. And to be honest, Planet Coaster as a subject or content type might not be gone forever. It's just this kind of building a coaster, making a series, that kind of stuff is just going to be gone, or I'm not going to be doing it because I don't have any motivation to keep playing the game in that way anymore, really. So I thought I'll pose the question of, is there any other games you guys might want to see? I've been not recently, but this year I've been focusing on doing a lot of Blender work as well. So if you guys maybe want to, see some of that, or you want to see some processes or live streams or something where we model some stuff, I'd be very much happy to pursue something like that. The next episode, when I decide to start working on the supports and the scenery, you'll find there's a bit of Blender work in there, because I'm going to do some custom lift hill pieces, which I think will basically give this coaster a send-off that it needs, by coupling a couple of new skills that I learnt this year when I wasn't necessarily playing the game as much as I would normally, and I think that would work well in going forward as maybe a channel type thing. If you want to see other games, I don't know, any other games, particularly doesn't have to be the theme park genre, could be literally anything, like shooters, FPS games, open world games, things like that. I'm happy to give them a go. If there's any other content and stuff that you maybe want to see that's a bit different from Planet Coaster. I know my name is technically ThemeParkWirral, but it doesn't have to be exclusively theme park related, I think, to be an interesting way of going forward. But I think that's kind of where I want to stand. If I'm not sure where we're going to be after this series. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I'm back at university now for my second semester, so chances are my free time to be able to work on things like projects like this are going to be a lot less than they normally are. So anything that I am going to be doing is probably going to be in free time, so the uploads won't be as consistent until I start getting more free time, or we get to the summer, or like the Easter break or whatever. So that kind of thing is going to be apparent even if we start uploading something different. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire update of the channel. I did want to obviously thank you guys very much for 5,000 subscribers, and I'm not sure if in the last video I said that, because I don't know if we'd hit it by then, but yeah, thank you very much for 5k. I was never expecting to get even half of that, to be honest. I was just making silly Planet Coaster rides and putting videos out, and then you guys really, really enjoyed it. So thank you for all the support that you've given me, even when I've just disappeared for 5 months, you know? Like, I appreciate your commitment to watching my stuff and, you know, giving it kind words when you do eventually get to see it when I decide to upload. I think another thing as well is I know I was making a lot of those challenge videos and I had a lot of series that I never did finish. I'm sorry that those will probably not be finished because, again, the motivation for the game and working on like this is gone now and probably won't come back unless there's a drastic change in either the modding scene or we do get a sequel to Planet Coaster, which I don't know. I've been reading a couple of things, you know, in the Frontier like reports. They have been hinting at a new game, definitely for announced at 24. So whether or not it's Planko 2 is just, we don't know. Honestly, it's anyone's guess at this game at this point, to be honest. So we'll just have to play it by ear and see what happens, really. But taking a break from all the kind of update stuff, looking at the coaster, I decided I wanted to go for a bit of a, not a unique layout, but more of a layout which incorporates some of my favourite elements from Invert. So you've got, like, obviously the wraparound loop, which I thought was a nice touch to throw in as homage to like Banshee, and I know Cumber's not an Invert, but I do really like that element on Cumber. And as well, I've got a Batwing from Montu, which I tried my best to shape, because I'm a little bit out of practice when it comes to building coasters. It's been a while, so if this coaster maybe isn't the, you know, pinnacle of my shaping, it's probably because I've been about 5 months out of practice with building an Invert properly, so please be kind. Nah. I think I'm very happy with the result of the layout, and to be honest, I got a lot of the shaping that I wanted down. Like the corkscrews are really whippy, and they've got that nice flat spin shape to them, and the Batwing is pretty good as well from Monty. It could be a little bit whippier, but this is supposed to be sort of a Gen 1.5, like a Nemesis Inferno type, but with quite a lot of the old old gen stuff thrown in as like a nice homage to some of my favourite bits on Inverts in particular, which is why I wanted to do this coaster. I wanted to make it the Invert of all time, you know. I wanted to throw in a lot of elements that I really did enjoy, and then also put it on a landscape setting, which I thought would make a beautiful, beautiful video and also a setting for, because if we're going to make, you know, one last Planko series and video, we may as well make it a good one, you know. So, as always, this will be a bit of an interactive series. If you want to see, like, names and colours and things, I mean, I did sort of pick a colour palette of like a nice sort of aqua turquoise green. Not this colour that you're seeing currently, that's only that colour because the station and transfer section piece that I made ages ago was that colour. So I thought I'd just keep it that colour for now, make it nice and cohesive, and then we'll change it sort of later on once the coaster's 1 metered and finished. But I think if maybe we decide there's a better colour palette that we could go for, I did want to move away from blue, because obviously I know I am the blue coaster person. Everything I've ever seen is blue. So I thought, you know what, we'll go for like a green, because it fits as well, that nice sort of marine setting that it's got going on as well. You might also be noticing why I'm colouring certain sections of the track red. Now this is a sort of trick I started doing towards the end of 2022, was it, I think? And basically what it is I know where the transitions are, so I know when to start banking when I go back and smooth it and fix the banking and stuff. Because I realised that eyeballing it doesn't always give you the most accurate results, whereas if you colour an element, say the entrance to a helix or something, if you colour it and you know exactly where it should start and end, you get better lateral g-force as the heart line's moved over, but it's still in the same rough position. So I thought, you know what, I'll start doing that, and you know, we'll see where it goes. And that method does work really well. So if you're still playing the game, definitely highly recommend doing that. And you might have also seen how that's just jumped, and that's because I ran out of storage when recording all this footage, because I did end up recording about 4 hours of footage, I think, in total. And I ended up losing half of me finishing smoothing the rest of the layout. So now it just cuts to 1 metering and 2 metering and all that. So we'll just have to go from there. The coaster itself, again, I'm very happy with the layout. It's about 110 feet above the terrain, but I think has a lift hill of about 150 feet because of the way it's built in. And I decided to go for this really funky start by having a 0G roll in there, because I thought, you know what, Nemesis Inferno should have had an inversion in the volcano. Don't come for me, that's a fact. And I thought, why not put it in the sea setting, and have some nice terrain and rock work when we start in the scenery department. But for next episode, we're going to be doing the support, catwalks, and a lot of the technical details. We've already got the station and the transfer, which is brilliant, means my job is a lot easier. So I'll probably get the supports and a lot of the terraforming down and the basis of where it's all going to go. And then the next episode will be the station, queue line, main of the infrastructure of the paths, and then start doing a lot of the scenery. And then we'll have an entire episode, I think, dedicated to vegetation, to getting the coaster looking absolutely gorgeous. And I might even do a few other bits along the side to make it look even better. So like some, details in the distance maybe for sort of coastal erosion stuff. Like I was kind of thinking of maybe putting some of those long sea defense things that catch longshore drift. I can't remember what they're called, and that's really bad because I did a geography A level not too long ago, and I've completely forgotten what they're called, but I will eventually remember. But it's those long things you have in the distance to create a realistic looking coastline. But really what I want to go for is that really nice cliff face with low shrubbery, a couple of palm trees maybe kicking around, and then go for a really nice coastal thing. But for the coaster itself, not particularly any theming, because I realise when I start theming, I tend to get quite overwhelmed with it and then end up not being able to finish it. So I'm probably just going to go for a simple stylised, clean modern look with maybe some neon lights as a homage to a couple of my more successful coasters like Anubis and Mirage and stuff like that. But yeah, that about sums up everything that I need to say when it comes to this episode, and to save myself waffling about anything else, I'll probably leave you guys with the rest of the, about 5-6 minutes of time lapse. I know this episode is always the most boring because it's always just the layout and 2 meter in, so I appreciate you guys sticking around if you've gotten to this point and just letting me, unload some stuff that's been happening in my world and why I haven't been uploading. So I'll try and have these episodes out weekly if I can, as a sort of final go to, this game. If it doesn't happen weekly, it will continue. I will not be shelving this one. I will be doing it as a final goodbye to the game. As I've said, I may do Planko as a content like subject on an one-off video, not necessarily to, do anything with it, but more maybe say if I do like a recap or something of some of my favourite moments of Planet Coaster, or we do a video based on Planko as a subject, that'll still probably happen, but the content as you know it, the coasters and the, the series, that's going away, I'm afraid, because until we get Planko 2, I'm probably not going to be able to do it anymore because I just don't have the motivation for it. And I don't really have the time either, so I'll do my best to keep on top of things. But thank you very much, as always, for watching. Stay tuned for more. These videos will be out whenever they're out. And thank you guys again for all the support you give. And I'll leave you the rest of the time-lapse footage. And I'll see you all next time.